9, 10. Yep, thank you. Wow, cool.
Nearly everybody dreams of kissing a celeb, and yet celebrities don't even want to kiss each other. It's such a shame how glamorized the movies can make these moments when they're usually awkward at best or downright repulsive at worst. We're taking a look at some of the worst.
You know, this may be the best date I've ever been on.
Technically, this isn't a date.
Right. Not a date.
Number 1. If you stand completely still, maybe they won't be able to see you. Xolo Maridueña and Mary Mouser's on-screen kisses in Cobra Kai don't just look awkward. Mary finds them to be awkward because for some strange reason, Xolo's not engaging with his hands in any way.
I feel like every picture of us kissing, my hands are on your face and your hands are nowhere near me.
Xolo's response is that he's scared of her and—
You're like the worm from Dune.
Yikes.
In the best way. In the best way.
Way to reel that insult back in.
It was the first time in our relationship that Paul was genuinely mad at me.
Number 2. SnotVision. Paul Bettany's runny nose in WandaVision made for an awkward smooch between him and Elizabeth Olson. Because of all the layers of prosthetics and makeup, Paul had no idea he's just dropped snot on his co-star. Elizabeth made a joke about it, and it did not go over too well. She says it's the first time Paul was genuinely mad at her.
Elizabeth Scotter Olson, as I think we can all agree to call her henceforth.
Somebody's a bit embarrassed. Number 3. Millie really put the pressure on Finn to admit she was his first serious kiss. Millie Bobby Brown and Finn Wolfhard had to kiss in front of 200 people, including their parents, and it was super awkward. Watching back the kissing scene, he'd said,
I looked like I was eating her. I was like, ah, like that.
Number 4. First kisses are daunting. Sadie Sink hadn't had her first kiss before either, and showrunner Ross Duffer made a joke that she would have to kiss Caleb at some point. This led to Sadie freaking right the heck out, and Duffer deciding to add a kiss in right then, just because of how goofy she'd reacted to the idea of it.
What? No, no, that's not in the script. That's not happening.
Either way, despite her freakout, she felt comfortable with the scene and said she wouldn't have gone ahead with it if she didn't. Meanwhile, her co-kisser was also feeling just a bit nervous, as it was also his first kiss.
This is feeling weird.
Millie had just gotten done filming her kissing scene with Finn. She'd walked out all red, and everybody was saying, "You're next," to Sadie and Caleb. That's too stressful. Number 5. We're getting a little too specific now. Angelica Washington's struggle with kissing her co-star in Tall Girls 2 mostly came from the director trying to get the shot just right. Angelica clarifying it was the director saying things like, "Can you move your hand like that?" Or like, "How long can you hold her?" More. I'm like, it just takes away from trying to make it real, you know? Ava Michelle found herself in the same boat with Griffin Gluck. But just when they think smooching is over for a while, they're instructed to do it again. But this time, different. Prompting her to wonder, how many variations of a kiss can we get?
이래서 멜로를 하는구나.
Number 6. All of us are dying laughing at Cho's reason why they had to film the scene so many times. Cho Yi-hyun had said she felt bad for her kissing partner because she had her eyes closed when she was leaning in for the kiss, and so she couldn't find where his lips were.
저때 몇 테이크 갔죠? 그때 17번?
It took 17 takes to get it right. Our question is, isn't it normal to have your eyes closed for a kiss? What's her excuse?
여러분 진짜 미안하다. 한 번만 다시 가자. 진짜 미안하다. 여러분 나는 좋아.
너무 긴장된다. 이거 어떻게 하지 했는데 막상 또.
Number 7. Joey was determined to handle her situation like an adult. Joey King and Jacob Elordi broke up before filming for Kissing Booth 2. Joey admitted, no one's thinking to themselves, that was easy, because it wasn't. She also knew that fans would overanalyze the moments, hoping for some connection between her character and her real life. But Joey wasn't going to let her personal feelings get in the way of her work, saying, Elle Evan needs her Noah Flynn, and whatever that means for my personal life, I'll do anything to make sure the story of my character, who I care about so much, is complete. Number 8. She had a crush on Tom Felton, but all she got to do with him was punch him in the nose. Meanwhile, she did have to kiss both Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint at different points. The kissing scene with Daniel being particularly strange, given it was like being naked with your sibling. Not fun. Daniel admitted as much, saying, "It was kinda weird. It is a bit like kissing your sister." Dan thought it was going to be a kind of a slow, sensual thing, and Emma really went for it. Rupert wound up kicked out of the room while they were filming the scene because he kept laughing. Number 9. Schmidt in any other context would be incredibly annoying. Jake Johnson, who plays Nick, was against Max Greenfield kissing him at first, for good reason. It was unscripted and caught him by surprise.
Max improvised kissed me a bunch in the show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until the 7th time that one of those improvised kisses made it into an episode.
I have been kissed the most by Max in 2 seasons than any girl I've ever dated.
At first, Jake's reactions were super aggressive when he'd push Max's face away or hit him, but by the end he'd accepted that it was part of the show, and it worked. Number 10. Imagine having somebody coaching you from the sidelines on your intimate moments. It would be just a bit awkward. Jacob Elordi struggled with all of his intimate scenes in season 1, not just kissing scenes, because he couldn't quite get used to the structure of having an intimacy coordinator around. He found it restricting and didn't leave room for spontaneity, which is kind of the point of the job, but he learned that during season 2 and realized he was super grateful for the coordinator. Number 11. J-Law was rightfully nervous. Celebs can't help but fall for their co-stars. Jennifer Lawrence felt incredibly awkward kissing Chris Pratt, because she'd never kissed a married man before, and so she just felt icky about the whole thing. Number 12. We guess there are some things Spider-Man can't do. What has turned into a fantasy fairy tale type of kiss that other shows have tried to copy, like The OC, was genuinely a nightmare to shoot for Tobey Maguire. Because he was dangling upside down in the rain, water was running up his nose. And then when Kirsten pulled his mask down, it completely covered his nose and he couldn't breathe. 13. If 2 people make out in the forest and no one's around to see it, did it really happen? Armie Hammer and Timothée Chalamet were invited by the director outside to rehearse a scene. It's their first rehearsal, and the director says, "Let's flip to scene 72." And they do, and it's a kissing scene, and it says, "Elio and Oliver kiss in the grass." So they get on the ground and start making out. And the director goes,
No. You're not feeling it. You need to feel it.
and so they do it again. And they're going on for a long while, and nobody's stopping them.
And we look up and Luca is totally gone. He just left us there in the grass.
Number 14. Kay Stu was not Team Jacob. Kristen Stewart found her kissing scene with Taylor Lautner to be awkward, mostly because it felt out of character for her, saying that kissing Jacob was so against everything that Bella's always been. Number 15. For one of TV's cutest couples, this one actually comes as a surprise. Jason Segel and Alyson Hannigan played Marshall and Lily on How I Met Your Mother, and Alyson couldn't stand kissing Jason because he always smelled like cigarettes. Number 16. Why do people think kissing in the rain is so romantic? Ian Somerhalder and Nina Dobrev had to kiss in the rain when it was below 30 degrees. That's -1 for the Celsius users. It was so cold that the muscles in Ian Somerhalder's jaw froze, and he couldn't speak. The fans were hoping for more steamy rain kisses, but Dobrev absolutely refused, saying, "You write another rain kiss, and I quit." Number 17. Okay, this one actually warms our hearts. Hilary Duff had a crush on her co-star in A Cinderella Story, Chad Michael Murray. Honestly, who didn't? So naturally, she felt super nervous about their kissing scenes at first, but they became good friends, and it got easier as they filmed. Number 18. Masks for Pattinsons. Robert Pattinson was filled with snot during his smooch with Reese Witherspoon. He admitted he was wiping his nose on her wig. While he makes it sound intentional, we're hoping it was accidental because, ew.
I think kind of might be the reaction.
Number 19. Incest isn't what made it awkward. Kit Harington and Emilia Clarke definitely friend-zoned each other in Game of Thrones, for a good reason.
I like looking at her and going, oh God, I'm sorry.
Kit was dating his then-girlfriend, now wife, Rose Leslie. Kit saying of Emilia, "If you've known someone for 6 years and they're best friends with your girlfriend and you're best friends with them, there is something unnatural and strange about doing a love scene." Number 20. Jennifer Lawrence did not leave her co-star hungry for more. J-Law was kind of a jerk when it came to kissing Liam Hemsworth. She'd eat all kinds of gross things leading up to a kiss. Liam admitted right before the scene she'd be like, yeah, I ate tuna, or I had garlic, and I didn't brush my teeth. And I'd be like, fantastic, I can't wait to get in there and taste it. Rude. It sounds like the inclusion of intimacy coordinators is a step in the right direction. Perhaps one day, it won't even be worth spilling the beans on staged kisses, because they'll be just as normal as fight choreography. Do you have a celeb crush who you would kiss even if their breath tasted like tuna?